Hey bitches, what's up? I just did day 6. So the idea was to go up to first chick and say what's time and then piss off. Then the next chick, what's the time? Have you got directions to wherever? And then you leave. And then the third chick you say what's time, got directions, have you been there? But that sounded like really fucking easy. So what I did is for all of the 15 chicks, I just did that third step. So I'd say what's the time, I'm looking for this place, have you been there? Which seemed like a good idea because I wanted to practice at those longer conversations. But the place I did it is near my house, and there's no women around here early in the morning because they're all at fucking work, and I don't start work till later. So I was basically walking around for an hour and 15 minutes just to find 15 chicks. It got so fucking boring. By the end, oh my god, it was such a grind. I didn't enjoy it towards the end. At the start it was cool, but at the end I didn't. But I think that's kind of a good thing, because then towards the end I started being really happy every time I saw a woman, to the point where I would cross the road to go over and talk to her, which is fucking fantastic. Because I mean, that's what I want to be doing eventually. I'll see a hot chick and I'll cross the road and go and talk to her. I want to be happy to see chicks and then go after them. But early on I had kind of a bad reaction. So the first one I did was these 2 women, and they were really sweet. Where is, I'm looking for a grocery store, yeah, it's down there, blah blah blah. They were really cool. But then the next woman, I tried to stop her, and she wouldn't stop. So I kind of stood in her way and said, hey, excuse me. And I was really polite, and I said, do you have the time? I just want to know what time it is. She was really fucking weird about it. She was terrified of me. And she was kind of short. But that's not really an excuse. Most people don't get terrified. And it just felt like a bad reaction. She sort of practically ran off, like I was some scary monster or something. And before I would have been really pissed off about that, and I would have thought that that was my fault, and oh, I'm such a monster, and it kind of threw me a little bit. But then immediately I was really fucking pissed at her, to the point where I actually yelled, what do you mean you don't have the time? Which is the second time I've yelled at someone for not having the time. But it felt like a good reaction. I'm glad that I yelled at her, even though a couple of people sort of looked. But I'm glad that I yelled because, as Chris and other people have said, and I completely agree, some of these, it's on them. If you get a weird reaction, it's not you. What the fuck happened to this woman that someone comes up and says, hey, excuse me, do you have the time? And she flips out. That's fucked up. Don't you think that's fucked up? That's really fucked up. So how does she function in society? What if someone asks her for something, or on the train someone says, hey, can I check your ticket to make sure it's valid? Does she flip out? If someone at the grocery store says, hey, the checkout chick says, hey, that's $100 please, does she flip out at that point? How does she do anything? How does she function? It's her that's fucked up. And before I would not have thought through all that. I would have thought it's me. But now I realize it's them that's fucked up. So I'm kind of glad that she gave me that reaction. I'm glad that was my first bad reaction that I've had. And it wasn't that bad. It was her that was fucked up, and I yelled at her, which I felt good about. And I had another funny reaction. So towards the end, it was number 13. There were these 2 fitness chicks. And so I stopped them. I'm like, hey, you have the time? And gave me the time. And then I was like, hey, I'm looking for the train station. Do you know where that is? And so one of them turns completely in the opposite direction of the other one. And so they're kind of pointing, I don't know if you can see, but one's pointing this way and one's pointing that way. And I just looked at them and I cracked the fuck up. I just lost it. I started cracking up because they didn't see each other. And then they turned around and looked at each other and saw that they were both pointing in different directions. And I was like, you guys are shit at directions. Which way is the train station? I knew the correct answer, of course. And so then they kind of go, oh, no, we're not bad, no. And then I was like, have you been there? And they were like, oh, yeah, we've been to the train station. We know where it is. Yeah. There's just 2 different ways to get there, which is true, technically. So they were technically correct. Anyway, it was just fucking hilarious. And so then one chick's like, you can just go down the middle. Just go down, split the average and go diagonal. And I was like, there's like a 10-story building diagonal. Do you want me to climb the building? And then we ended up getting into this weird conversation about like how they've got rock climbing friends and their rock climbing friends could have climbed the building and I should give it a go and all this other shit. It's pretty fucking hilarious. It doesn't sound that funny when I retell it, but you know, I just think like I wouldn't be having any of these conversations with people like other than like at a pub or something or like in social circles. And I had this other chat with this woman, this old lady in the shops, and she just seemed like so happy that like someone was talking to her. And then there was this like fat chick that I talked to, and she was like over the moon, like she would not stop smiling, and all I was doing was asking her where the shops are. And then when I said like, have you been there, she's like, yeah, I've been there, yeah, it's really great, it's like the best shop ever, like, and it's just a fucking grocery store. And like without even meaning to, like you're putting smiles on people's faces just by fucking talking to them, like asking them for the time some of them smile and get happy. And that's kind of sad. Because we're all wandering around this, there's like 4 million people or something here that are just, most of them wandering around like bored, lonely, sad. And if saying, hey, what's the time makes them smile, then I'm doing a public service. Yeah. That's pretty much all I have to say. But I can't be bothered getting up. Because I'm really fucking tired from grinding through those 15 fucking people for an hour and a half. And I have to do it again tomorrow, fuck. Fuck your mothers, all of them.